Alright, so in this video we are going to cover plant and bacterial cells and any other organelles that we did not cover in the previous video. So, a review of the types of cells. One, there are eukaryotic cells. They're defined by having a nucleus and other complex membrane-bound organelles, which basically just means that the organelles are not free-floating around in the cell, but they are bound to the cell. That would be organelles like the Golgi apparatus, mitochondria, chloroplast, those types of organelles. So, eukaryotic cells are plants and animal cells. Also fungi, but we don't talk a lot about those. Okay, second are prokaryotic cells. They do not have a nucleus, so their DNA is just floating in the cytoplasm. And the example of this would be bacterial cells. Right? They also do not have any membrane-bound organelles. All of their organelles are floating in the cytoplasm. Okay, cell features that we find in all three of those examples, plants, animals, and bacteria, would be DNA, except bacteria cells or prokaryotics do not have a nucleus to store their DNA in. They all have a cell membrane, okay, to allow things in and out of the cell. They all have ribosomes because they need to make proteins, and they all have cytoplasm, which is just the jelly-like material that everything is suspended in. Membrane. The cell membrane is a really important organelle. It's found in all cell types, eukaryotes and prokaryotes. The structure of the cell membrane, or what it looks like, it's basically a double layer of lipids, fats, and it surrounds the entire perimeter of the cell. The function, or what the cell membrane does, is it controls the movement of materials in and out of the cell. Since this is a semi-permeable membrane, meaning that it lets certain things in and certain things out of the cell, it also helps with protection. It's the outer layer in animal cells, but then bacteria and plant cells have layers outside of the cell membrane. You might sometimes hear it called the plasma membrane, and that's the same thing as cell membrane. Let's take a look at a closer picture of the cell membrane. Okay, so if we zoom into that perimeter that is surrounding the cell, this is what it would look like. You can see where the outside of the cell is, you can see the inside of the cell, you can see the structure where we have these tails that are facing the inside here, and those are lipids. Those lipids are hydrophobic or water-fearing, so they face the inside, while those yellow circles here, we call these the phospholipid heads, and they are water-loving, so they face the outside. Okay, so this is that lipid double layer. We have proteins, and some of these proteins transport materials in and out of the cell. We also have carbohydrates that are connected on those proteins. Okay. Second structure is chloroplast. So the chloroplast is a membrane-bound organelle, meaning it is fixed in the cell. It is not free-floating around in the cell. The function of the chloroplast is to convert light or sunlight energy into sugar, which is food for the plant, and that happens through the process of photosynthesis. This happens only in plants, okay? And the chloroplast contains chlorophyll, which is the green pigment. So that's why many plants are green. Okay, that's just pointing out that chloroplast. Okay, cell wall. The structure of the cell wall, what it looks like, it's made of many polysaccharides. Okay, we've talked about polysaccharide is a carbohydrate polymer. Okay, and the specific name of the polysaccharide is cellulose. Okay. The function is to protect the cell and maintain what we call homeostasis. Homeostasis is stable conditions in the cell. Okay, so it's going to be a more protective barrier where we can keep water in the cell and it prevents anything from coming out of the cell that we don't want to. Okay, cell wall is found in plant cells and all prokaryotes. So it's found in bacteria, it's found in archaea. Okay, next up is pili. The structure of pili. They are short, hair-like projections. Okay, so you can see them kind of coming out of this bacterial cell. They're short. Okay, the function of them is to allow cells to attach to surfaces. They're for adhesion, attaching to surfaces. And this facilitates infection because we know that bacteria cause a lot of different infections. Okay, so this is found in prokaryotes only, bacteria and archaea. Okay, then we have the capsule, which is a structure of polysaccharides, a layer that is outside of the cell wall. So if you take a look at this image, we can see this green layer is the cell membrane. Outside of the cell membrane is the cell wall, and outside of that is a thicker layer called the capsule, and that is found only in prokaryotes and bacteria, and that is extra protection for the cells. Lastly is the flagellum. So the structure of the flagellum is a whip-like appendage. Okay, so it's these tails coming off of this yellow bacteria-looking thing here. These are flagella. So there can be more than one. So if it's more than one, plural is flagella, one is flagellum. The function of it is for locomotion or for movement. So we have prokaryotes like bacteria are going to have this, and then some single-celled eukaryotes such as sperm cells. So I hope this was helpful, and there you have it.